Oh hello my fellow gamers, and welcome to Core Keeper. This survival RPG is filled with weapons, armor, and of course, bosses, all of which are eagerly waiting to try and give me a free rectal exam. As they know, this challenge will take place in hard mode, which means all enemies have double the health and deal an ungodly amount of damage. My mental sanity will no doubt be tested, but I have done challenges like this in the past, so I refuse to believe it will be that bad. What? How does that one-shot me? Without any further ado, I create my handsome, sexy Giga Chat of a character. I set the world difficulty and begin. Immediately we are greeted with some much needed exposition. We are an explorer, venturing deep in some random jungle where an ancient artifact catches our eye and gives us the suck. No, not the good kind, rather the we are now trapped in another world kind. Our only hope of escape is to power up the core, slay the titans, and defeat any enemies that may cross our path. Immediately collecting all the nearby wood, we start exploring my surroundings and quickly find mushrooms, some copper ore, and of course, a gun. A rather useful weapon early on, as we are going to be playing as a ranged character, undoubtedly shooting my enemies from 5 miles away. After exploring nearby areas, collecting as much copper ore as my hands can greedily carry, we head back and mine away a space for us to properly make our base. We fill it with crafting tables, furnaces, anvils, and even a garden. The garden is incredibly important, as it will give us a steady supply of food, increase our skill points, and give us the mental fortitude to not put my fist through my PC after getting one-shotted. Wow, that was a lot of damage! Oh, and I'm burning. And I'm dead. I put a rusty bucket on my head that the game mistakes for armor and dive headfirst into the clay caves, aka the worm caves. This place is single-handedly giving the corruption a run for its money for most disgusting area, as these caves are filled with worms, larvae, and piss. Nevertheless, we need tin, so we hold our breath and mine away until we have a decent stack. I also managed to find a feather, which will not leave my character's side for the remainder of this video, as it allows me to dash. With our rusty bucket, feather, and pistol in hand, we see our screen shaking and head over to fight the first boss, Glurch. This distant cousin of the King Slime can be kited quite easily, as long as your reaction time is faster than a snail, as his only form of dealing damage is to jump on you. Therefore we dash backwards with every jump and shoot him, taking a chunk of his already minuscule health, ultimately beating the first of many slime-themed bosses, and getting our first core gemstone. Having solidified my victory over the first boss, it is only natural that I would have a crippling god complex. So I race off immediately toward the second boss while violently screaming at the poor confused slime residents of my self-proclaimed divinity. Finding Gorm, we fire at him without hesitation and even get his aggro. But as quickly as my delusions of godhood rose, my health fell, as Gorm trampled me, breaking my armor and slaying me. It was evident that I was going to need iron armor if I wanted to proceed, so I headed to the Forgotten Ruins and mined as much iron as possible so that I could stand a chance against that blasted worm. We smelt our iron and proceed to make full iron armor. Good thing too, I was 5 minutes away from getting tetanus due to that dirty rust bucket in my head. With our new armor and potions, we head back to the caterpillar, who is seen running laps around his massive circle. We shoot him while simultaneously taunting the wannabe NASCAR driver that he will never make it to the Indy 500. This both enrages and makes him cry, blinding him from the sheer amount of tears in his eyes as he goes for several tramples that are nowhere near me. You would think he would learn, but he continues to try and run me over. To this I respond by dashing to the side and promptly giving him a tender kiss on the cheek, letting him know that like his NASCAR dreams, he too will be fucking dead. With Gorm out of the way, we have our second core gemstone. But before we get our third, we head into the Forgotten Ruins to casually massacre a multitude of shaman until they drop the fireball staff. As this weapon not only lights my enemy's ass on fire, it also deals considerable base damage. While we're here, we also start searching for Malagas's boss room, a secret boss that can only be spawned in his throne room. After some exploration and mining, we eventually find it. From your end, this might seem like it was found pretty easily, but in actuality, it took 5 fucking hours to find this small-ass, weird-smelling Discord mod mansion. I clear the area, and against all better judgment, summon him, as I hear he is quite difficult. Immediately I am met with the grim reality that the room is absurdly small, and he has this quirky habit of teleporting right on top of you. But wait, there's more. Besides the small nature, the room also has the tendency to be on fire half the time. Fun. As my character is now suffering from second-degree burns, I decided to fight Malagas later, instead heading over to the third boss, the Hive Mother. This nasty exploded egg sac will try its damnedest to hit us with that unwanted golden shower treatment, all while simultaneously summoning its spawn to try and unalive me. Needless to say, I am not thrilled with the thought of becoming worm food, so I run, dash, and clean the area as much as possible while damaging her. This is made ever more difficult as she has this ill-conceived notion that I am the IRS and have come to give her a tax break depending on how many children she has. Due to this unfortunate misunderstanding, my screen is quickly flooded by larvae, who act as an offspring shield, making this fight take forever to complete. After sneaking some fireballs, we are eventually victorious and have the third and final gemstone. We power up the core and are now able to explore 3 new biomes: the jungle, the ocean, and the desert. The core tells us to head to the jungle, but I was feeling a little rambunctious and decided to dip my toes in the ocean. I make it a whole 4 seconds before I am one-shotted back home. I didn't even see what fucking killed me. Seeing as how the ocean slapped my ass unapologetically, I guess I should head to the jungle and gear up. The jungle is home to 2 bosses, Ivy, another slime boss, and Asos, our first titan. But before we get to them, we must mine as much scarlet ore as possible in the hopes that we can make it more than 4 seconds without dying. We smelt enough ore and even make an entire self-sufficient drill system to continue generating ore even when we're not there. Now with our scarlet bars and the wool we got from waiting 2 hours in front of a sheep. Come on, you son of a bitch! We make our sexy ass red samurai armor, which both protects me and slightly elevates my confidence, making the once treacherous and fearsome jungle a mere child's playground. Now able to take in the scenery, the majestic cries of Mother Nature fill my eardrums, and the newfound appreciation is surely born. Or not, as I am grabbed by a plant and quickly rushed by several farmers trying to replicate a scene from Brazzers. After that very unfortunate misunderstanding that I will no doubt need therapy for, I make my way to Ivy, a poisonous slime who is not difficult but did manage to kill me, and embarrassingly 3 times. I am unsure if I will ever live this humiliation down, as the sudden realization sets in that I am essentially getting smacked around by King Slime's little sister. With that thought in mind, I start sweating profusely, knowing that if I lose again, any and all self-respect people may have had toward me will be deleted faster than my browser history on a Friday night. Fortunately, with our triumphant victory, a sigh of relief is heard throughout the jungle. Now with Ivy out of the picture, we can finally attempt our first titan, Bootleg Zapdos. This fight goes surprisingly well, although it takes forever due to his massive health bar and numerous lightning pillars. That and the fact that he can will magic blue rocks out of the ground to heal himself. Nevertheless, I would like to say that I'm rather good at this fight. However, I have been electrocuted more times than I can count. No doubt, this overgrown parrot must wonder about the scientific miracle as to how I am still alive. I whisper in his ear the very secret of life, being that unlike him, I don't skip leg day. He looks down at those drumsticks embarrassingly as I finish him off. Heading home, I am filled with more pride than I care to admit, having successfully vanquished a slime and murdered someone's pet. With that, I decide my cojones are big enough to try and fight Malagas again. Yes, after a constant treatment of applying lotion, cream, and physical therapy, my second-degree burns have healed enough that I may attempt them with better armor, hoping for a better outcome than last time. I cross my fingers, toes, eyes, and everything else that can be crossed. Well, there goes 6 months of physical therapy. Well then, seeing as Malagas is being an absolute fucking prick, I make a boat and decide to sail the 7 seas. But don't be fooled by its nice looks and pleasant music. This ocean is treacherous, as it is filled with tentacles holding nukes. What's worse is that at first glance, they just seem like ordinary pebbles. That is until you get hit by them. What the actual fuck? seeing as how these damn tentacles plan on making my life worse than an adult animated protagonist. I am left with no other choice but to fork over my life savings and get the speedy boat. I'll tell you all what I told my financial advisor. I understand it's expensive, but there's no point in complaining considering that I already fucking lost it! What are the plans? Just what are the plans? Just what are the plans? Don't think about how all your financial savings are in the middle of the ocean. That is at least what I told myself for 3 hours to calm my unspeakable rage. Seeing as how I was in desperate need of a victory, we summoned King Slime, the third slime boss in this game. And while usually I would make fun of, bully, and throw the occasional spitball at King Slime, I actually felt sorry for him, as this time he would be an unknowing victim to my untethered rage. Having the sweet taste of victory dance around my lips, I am filled with a sliver of confidence that will surely not last, so I better take advantage of it. I make a quick stop in the desert and get the throwing daggers. And while I have now lost both legs, an arm, and several vital organs to a loan shark, I have once again acquired a boat. We set sail for the... God, I don't even know how many times. And eventually get to Morpha, the 4th slime boss? Really? Okay guys, 3's a pattern, 4's a fetish. Also, in case you're wondering why I look like I'm covered in slime... fluids. Yeah, we'll go with fluids. It's because this boss has this super fun and totally not bullshit debuff called Slippery Movement. This top 5 debuff of all time makes it so that you lose control of your character. And since it makes me want to jump off a bridge with no water underneath it, I massacred a colony of blue slimes for the helmet and opened every seashell chest imaginable for the armor. Having bested our 4th and hopefully final slime boss, we head to Amarat's lair, where the game expects me to face off against this Elden sea god capable of summoning 50 Category 5 hurricanes in this crappy ass boat. But wait, there's more. This boss also comes with magic tricks. Now watch closely as he makes my health bar disappear. What are the plans? Just what are the plans? Just what are the plans? Alright, you know what? Once more for good measure. I am so unbelievably flaccid that I am convinced a woman could beat me in a dick measuring contest. Therefore, I am left with no other choice but to make a platform and damage him from safety. Now this strategy may seem a little cowardly, but it was either this or rip out a chunk of my hair and fight him again. And let me tell you, I ran out of hair. With our eventual victory over my new most hated boss and our phobia of the ocean now firmly established, I head over to Malagas to release all my pent-up frustration from the ocean. He looks at me with fear for the very first time as he notices the knife in my hand, and the grim look on my face tells him that I very much plan on giving him an unlicensed circumcision. The very thought sends him into a panicked frenzy and he goes full Ghost Rider on us. Unfortunately for him, after the Amroth incident, I have lost all patience and I am well out of mercy. So this circumcision is happening whether he likes it or not. And because I'm a YouTuber, I cannot wait to put Malagas Circumcision Gone Wrong in the title. Now having turned Malagas into a woman, I can head into the final biome, the desert, in search of the final titan, Ra Akar. Heading over to his arena, I packed delicious foods such as oats, crunchy yellow, and my personal favorite, crunchy steak. Yum. We wash all that down with an arsenal of strange elixirs and are now ready to begin the fight. This overgrown scarab has a variety of attacks, such as several earthquake-themed moves, summoning kamikaze minions, and a plethora of heat-seeking orbs that will follow you for what feels like 5 hours. Yet, even with all of that, I am dodging everything like the absolute pro gamer that I am. I could not help but feel as my bottom lip perked upwards in some semblance of a smirk as an ounce of hope, grit, and determination filled my head, encouraging me that I was mere steps from accomplishing my dreams and proving that all this hard work had not been in vain. Never mind, kids, there is no hope. Life is a disappointment, and your dreams are bound to be crushed by a giant green scarab. After painfully leveling up my skill points for 3 hours, we should theoretically be much stronger now. God, I hope. Having summoned him again, my damage was considerably higher than last time, which left the Titan feeling rather confused, as it took me an eternity to simply get him half health before. He frustratingly asked me how it's possible that I was now bench pressing 450 pounds with one hand, to which I pull out a crumbled John Cena workout regimen that I have never done, and a half-filled protein shake that is more piss than shake. I then tell him that while he was sleeping for 100 years, I got off my ass and worked out once, maybe twice a year. This enrages him to no extent, and as the fight gets more intense, he manages to clip my character's pinky toe, somehow dealing half my health bar in damage. Me now being in a panic state after being chased several miles for my 4-year expired gym membership, we ultimately managed to beat him. Having now bested the 3 Titans, there's only one boss that remains. The final boss of Core Keeper so far is... I genuinely want to know what is it about slimes that make the developers so rock hard, as this is no regular slime, forcing me to go fishing before facing it, as it will spew magma everywhere, and fishing a dragonfish out of lava is the only way I know to get immunity to fire. Fishing, my highest leveled skill. After numerous assortments of rusty hooks, blue kelp, and scrap parts, we finally catch and eat a dragonfish. This finally allows us to engage in epic combat with Igneous. That one-shots me? What in the actual fuck? I don't know how I have managed to progressively make more difficult and self-torturous challenges, but here we are. I can't wait for next video where I try cock and ball torture. Having gotten my sweaty hands on yet another dragonfish, we buff up and begin the fight with a sense of fear towards a slime that I did not think was previously possible. As my ass is now clenched and I have taken the traditional gamer lean stance for maximum focus. Throughout the entirety of this fight, I want to be as far away as humanly possible in order to better dodge the fireballs that are being launched dangerously close to my face. Also, I don't know if it's because I'm surrounded by magma or because all it takes is one hit to make me have to buy a new computer, but I am sweating profusely. No doubt, there were several times in this fight where my balls reached my Adam's apple with fear. But after a very long and drawn out fight, we are eventually victorious. Therefore, the challenge is officially complete, as we have just beaten Hard Mode Core Keeper. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope this video made you laugh, and may you all have a lovely day.